Alright, what's going on, folks? It is Zach here. Today is February 9th, 2025, and we got a twofer today, folks. So I actually combined our push deload day, which is the one you're seeing right now, these slightly inclined barbell benches. So I combined that push day deload with today's workout, which was the pull day deload. And we got some exciting stuff in here, y'all. So we'll start off with, oh man, and it reminds me too, seeing the lighting here. Yesterday was so beautiful. Great lighting, much better than what we've been having. Sorry, great lighting. I mean, the lighting is better, but great weather is what I meant to say there. It's very nice change of pace. So, and of course today it was 40 degrees. So, hey, Texas does what it wants when it comes to weather, so you've got to be ready for, whatever comes at you. So let's talk about it. We've got our first push day movement, which has been swapped over to incline barbell bench. And I just want to mention the reasons. Today's video is going to be a lot of reasoning behind why I'm choosing certain exercises and why I'm putting them where, in terms of sequence. So which exercises first, followed by what. So in this case, we are doing the incline bench first because I want to bring focus. My focus has been primarily on the shoulders, and I'm going to keep it that way. It's the same thing with my biceps. The muscle groups that I'm identifying as kind of lagging behind the others, I'm going to put those first. So that's like my primary reason. So we're trying to highlight chest here. We're putting this mid and upper pec emphasized pressing movement first because we want to provide that robust stimulus to the chest. Now, one of the caveats here is that when you're cutting, which I'm about to be, technically during a deload I'm not, because I eat maintenance calories or a little above maintenance. I'm just not as strict with my diet when I'm eating maintenance. If I'm feeling very hungry, I'll just eat. Kind of the way I work with it. It's a lot more intuitive on a deload because I don't have a specific goal on a deload except for to drop my fatigue off. So clicking on up to the second exercise here, which is this seated dumbbell shoulder press. So look at that, the outside world, it exists. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till it's nice and sunny again so I can have the garage open, get some fresh air, and then hopefully get my vitamin D from the actual sun, which is free, instead of having to take a supplement. Is always a benefit there. Kind of the rule I go with that is 10 minutes in sunlight, at least like a quarter of my body. I call that good. I won't need to take supplementation, but if I don't get that in a day, I'll go ahead and do a drop or two of that vitamin D K2 drops that I had put in that nutrition video I released the other day. So, yes, so same kind of idea here. I'm moving the emphasis a little away from the shoulders onto the chest to maintain the mass I've got on my chest. But then we're putting these seated shoulder press in here second. So the emphasis is still high. I'm going to be a little tired after the bench press, but not so tired that's going to interfere here with the shoulder press. The only time maybe that might interfere is when I get to like 1 or 0 IR. And at that point, everything interferes with everything because it's all to failure and the fatigue is built up. So kind of a moot point, but seated shoulder bread. This is the sheeted shoulder bread test here. Oh my goodness. But yeah, let's see here. So let's talk load here. I'm looking at, for that incline bench, we're going to start with 115 on it to see how that feels. I'll probably end up going a little more. It feels, I don't know why, but incline barbell pressing feels pretty jank on my elbows sometimes. So I will probably go ahead and move my grip out a little bit. I'm going to, next session, this upcoming session. I'm not taking a rest day after the deload, so I'm going straight into leg day tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I'm not being facetious. I'm excited. It's so funny. After just 1 week of deload, I'm like, all that dread and like how tired I was and everything at 0 RIR, I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And it's like that feeling of like, oh, it's never going to end. Am I going to really be able to do this? And then by the end of the deload, I'm like, all right, I'm bored. This is terrible. I'm losing all my muscles, leaving. I'm getting fat. It's like, it's so fun. I'm so used to training every day and being like hyper fixated on it that it's not to an unhealthy degree, I don't think, at this point, because it's, it's not interfering with other things, but it's just funny that I notice that effect it has on me. So the shoulder press, the load on that one, we're going to go with 20 pounds. I might end up increasing that. Both of those, the first 2 exercises on this new push session are going to be like, what did I put them here? Yeah, so 8 to 12 reps for the incline bench and 10 to 20 for the overhead. And I'm looking a little lower on the overhead press. Like I want to be doing maybe like 12 to 16 ish on that. So I'll probably end up increasing the weight, but we'll see once I do an actual session of it. We'll see how it feels. Now, deficit push-ups here. This is the final exercise, and look at that depth, baby. Big stretch. That's what I'm talking about. So we're finishing off the push day here with this chest and tricep, and of course anterior deltoid focused deficit push-up. And on these, I will just be doing as many reps as possible, which is AMRAP, AMRAP, till I get to 3 reps in reserve, because that's when I start this new macrocycle. I'm doing 3 reps in reserve. And I do want to talk a little bit about that too. The intensity is not going to peak as high as it did when we were massing, because we don't have the nutrients and the energy intake, and even the protein is going to go down a little bit, but only as I lose weight. We don't have what we need to recover from that. So what I'm probably going to do, let's say in a 5-week accumulation, I'm probably going to do a week of 3 RIR, 2 weeks of 3 RIR, 2 weeks of 2, and maybe 1 week of 1 RIR. I think that's probably how I'm going to schedule it. That way I'm getting close to failure, but I'm not destroying myself. And then, like, I tweaked my back when I was like, full glycogen stores, triglyceride storage is up. Like I'm ready. I've got all the energy I need, and it still ended up getting a little bit risky there at the end. So we're going to try to limit our risk for injury when we're cutting, especially, because the leaner you get, the more sketchy things tend to get. So now we are moving on here to our pull day, which I did this morning. And the first exercise, I gotta be honest, guys, I put this one in for pure swag. I love barbell curls. There's something, and especially once I start getting lean, watching yourself do barbell curls in the mirror, I feel like I just feel and look like a monster. I love it, dude. It's 10 out of 10 swag points. Is it the best exercise for hypertrophy stimulus? No, it's not. I hold my breath for that whole thing for some reason. Yeah, it's not the best for hypertrophy stimulus, but it should do the trick. And when I'm actually accumulating, when I'm doing this little mini cut I'm about to do, I'm not too worried about it interfering for just a few weeks with some of the other exercises. So you see we moved on here to our second exercise, which is it's a modified chest supported dumbbell row. I've done these before on this very bench, just like this, but I was doing it with both arms at the same time, and that was great. Crazy stimulus, back pumps like out of this world. But I did it recently. I think I only did that. I did that 2 macrocycles ago, so only like 5 or 6 months ago. So I wanted to try something new. So I went ahead and decided to do one-armed chest supported dumbbell rows here. And yeah, it felt really good. I mean, the reps rather, because the weight is probably going to be what I'll be using for the actual workouts, which I ended up at 30 pounds for this, and I think that should be enough to do what I want to do here. So I don't know, we may end up going up, we may end up going down, but the rep range on those curls we just did are gonna be 8 to 12, so pretty heavy. And then same thing here on the chest supported rows. I like these to be pretty heavy too. When they're too light, it starts, for me at least, it sometimes starts to feel like I'm like phoning it in. Like at like 16, 17 reps, it's like, okay, it burns, there's tension, but it's not like those incline curls I've been doing where it's like, when I'm getting close to failure, it's like, oh yeah, like it's slowing down to a point where like I'm not going to be able to pull this up again kind of thing. Same with like the overhead press. Really great example of momentary muscular failure on those. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. This is also kind of, I don't know why the pull day, I made it like pure swag, just things I like. The only thing that's different there is that I put the chin-ups, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but I do want to mention that I'm seeing it. What do I do with my other hand here? So I've tried out, there's some bars on this. I think the bars on this Rogue bench are actually, they're for like lifting it up so that you can adjust the incline on it. So I was trying out holding those, and then trying out holding the little tip of the bench there where you like tilt it up and it stands straight up. Yeah, you can see me grabbing it there. Just trying out different places to hold. I found that holding the bench, like I was just kind of testing the placement of my body before the movement, and it felt weird on the bench, so we'll try it out. I'm sure I'll find, well, I'm not sure, but I sure hope I find a good place a nice comfortable place to put my hand on that. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking of there for the chest supported dumbbell rows. Pretty hopeful for those. I definitely enjoy them. But we're going to be moving on to our next exercise. Okay, it's also a new exercise here, and it is chin-ups. So pretty similar to what we were doing, but the main difference here is going to be obviously hands facing towards me versus towards the wall in front of me. And this places a larger emphasis on the biceps, but still keeps a really strong stretch and emphasis on the lats. So just want to try out variation. We'll see how it feels. These feel not too great on my wrists. I think maybe a neutral grip would probably be more comfortable, but we're going to try it out. We'll try it out at least a few weeks. If it's not painful, it's not hurting me or distracting from the movement, then it's fine. I'll go ahead and keep them in and see what the DOMS is like, see what the markers of hypertrophy stimulus look like whenever I do a set or two of this. See, we're looking at tension, how's the pump on it. So I'm excited. This is an exercise I actually haven't ever put in my programming, at least since I've started really focusing on hypertrophy. So yeah, exciting stuff, guys. We had a lot of great movements. I'll have intros for each of these legs push pull days coming out whenever I finally do my full sessions starting tomorrow. See how interesting everything is, see how it makes us feel, what we like, what we don't like. We're going to discuss it all, guys. So this is the last set here. I'm going to go ahead and head out. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in our first leg session of the macrocycle. Hope y'all have a good one. See ya.